Hello and welcome to Iracing.com's V8 Supercars official online series presented by Bigpond Sport, Extreme Sim Gear, Direct Clutch Services. I'm Stephen Sandman Cloak, sitting in the hot seat, filling in for Jay Kennedy, who's decided to step out for a little while, but joining me in the booth is Daniel. Daniel, mate, welcome.
Yeah, mate, good to be here. Good to be here at the start of season 4. I got to have my bit of fun last week in the cars for Race of Champions. Not that I did any good, but good to be out there with some of those other guys. And yeah, it's good to be back for Road America. How you feeling about this one, Sandman?
Mate, excited. Brand new season, of course. Here we are, Series 4. Looking forward to it. Road America is probably up there as one of my favourites. It's actually a great track, a lot of different turns, undulations, and 18 laps around here. I think the guys are going to have their work cut out for them, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Road America, very intense track. Really good for the V8 supercar, obviously. Being built, a lot of NASCAR racing around here, and those tracks seem to be suited to the V8. But yeah, it should be a lot of fun. This is a fuel-saving round though. We thought we almost got rid of them altogether, but in saying that, the first race tonight was pretty intense.
I think it's one of those things that can be a little bit frustrating, can't it, as far as fuel-saving rounds. You know, we talk about we'd like to see these guys just go hard at it and, you know, have a good slug at it and not have to worry about, you know, conserving fuel. But, yeah, conserving fuel's the way to go. You just lose so much, especially with this pit lane. You give up so much track time if you decide to make a pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. It just tends out to be just not worth it. But you do have to play the numbers when you're racing this kind of game. And when we're playing fuel saving, you know, you've got to hit those points, hit those markers. And some guys like to do that early and try and get the fuel numbers there so they know that they can go hard at the end. Other guys will go out hard at the start and bring it all back in towards the end and hope for the best.
Now, we're hoping to hear from, in a few moments' time, we're hoping to have Madison Down join us and do a hot lap of Road America. He's, of course, fresh off his season championship. That makes him 5-time champion. It's pretty special and probably something that won't be tackled anytime soon. It's not a bad achievement, is it?
No, it's a bloody brilliant achievement, considering you think about the strength of our fields. They're massive, and they're growing stronger and stronger. This season's probably the strongest season we've seen yet. We're still a young series. To have 5 under your belt is ridiculous. And yeah, it's fantastic to see. So you know, it's good for Madison. You know, he's definitely one of the most liked people out there on track. Everyone gets along with him. No one really has a problem with him from what I've heard, except probably that they're not winning the championship titles. So you really can't go wrong, can you? So yeah, he's definitely living the high life at the moment. But in saying that, Justin was, you know, on his heels coming into last season. Renz is back now. Renz is back trying to take a title as well. He's not here for fun and games. And his own teammate, Josh Muggleton, is definitely keen for a title. And, you know, I'm sure team orders are never going to come into play there because Muggo wants to win. He wants to put his name up there and be the best. So, you know, see how we go.
It's so hard, you know, we speak about, you know, who may be the upcoming champion. There's so many names that you just peeled off, you know, that's capable of winning this. And someone who was really strong all season, but especially towards the end, was our guy on screen, Justin Ruggier. Strong results all year, managed to get his maiden victory under his belt. Once he did that, he got a couple more along the way and wasn't too far about snatching that title away from Madison either.
That's right, there's nothing, to put it nicely, there's nothing like popping the old cherry, is there? I mean, these boys coming in, you get that first win and you just keep bringing them on after that. Justin's proved that fact, gets his first win, and then after there they start falling a little bit easier than what they did. The pressure's kind of off a little bit, you know how to deal with it, and you get those wins. And that's what we need to see. And Margot has his first win in the main series, and this season I think we're going to see him come on really strong.
Now, there's obviously still another qualifying session, which is a few minutes away to start, but currently we've got Madison Down on pole with a 209.101. Second place, Justin Ruggier, 209.386. Richard Hampstead in third, 209.440. Scott McLaughlin, 209.601. rounding out the 5, Renz Brookman, 209.612. So there's absolutely nothing in it. I mean, we say it every week, there's nothing in it qualifying, and I think we're in for a cracker of a race.
Yeah, definitely. We're in for an awesome race. And finally, he's decided to join us. But it's good to see him on here. Corey, good to get your opinions on what's going on here with Road American stuff. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, cheers guys. Sorry about being a little bit late. I misjudged my timing just a little bit with what I was doing. It's yeah, I'm looking forward to the Road America event. Although I think some of the drivers have been saying it's going to be a fuel saver, so it's going to be interesting to see who can actually do it. Because I know some guys have struggled to try and do the race without having to pit. So I mean, an interesting one.
Mate, so many dangers up and down through the field. We were talking about just before you joined us, Corey, about so many different title contenders. I guess it's hard to look away from Madison Down. He's been so strong, but there's so many names that are up and down that field that can actually take the title for season 4.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you got Richard, who's just gone on to. I'm sure you guys have all discussed it. Richard's gone to TTL, and that's going to be a massive combination over there for those boys this season. And Madison and Mitchell staying on at Tats, and Red Brookman joining XSG. There's so many guys out there that I think have a genuine shot at this season's championship rather.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of guys out there at the moment, and the teams have only gotten stronger for this season. And there's been a few movements this season coming into this one. We've seen V8 Supercar fan group wanting to get involved and teaming up with Lazy Man Racing and picking two of probably the most talented young drivers out there, Brad Ryan and Sean Kelly, going out there, and those guys have got contenders. They're top 10 finishers. Brad can get in the top 5, and probably won't be too long until we see him really starting to challenge for podiums. They're not in here to play games. We've seen Richard Hampstead make a massive leap over to TTL, and that's good backing for him. Those guys over there are strong with Reg and Ian, Dylan Sharman, all strong contenders. John Emerson, another big name that's over there at TTL. He's a really good contender in this series. What else? Who else have we had move? We've had Renz back in with XSG, and with XSG name now teamed up with Infinity Esports. That's a massive movement, and that really brings Renz in. And Renz isn't here just to fill the grid. He's here to win. He knows what he can do. We saw him come back last season and do a race and completely dominate that race after not being involved for so long. So there's movements all up and down the field, and yeah, it's going to be an awesome season.
The one thing I do like talking about Renz, he was so strong at Zolder, and I think everyone knows what sort of driver he is. He's a great driver and great to have him back in the series. But I think everyone sort of maybe forgot a little bit about Renz there for a little while, only because he was so strong, went away for a little while, and just as I've been corrected there, it was Zandvoort, so my apologies. But yeah, he's so strong, and it's actually really good to have him back in the series, but I think we actually forgot about just how good he was, and it's great to have him back to see how he goes this year. Yeah,
it's fantastic to have Renz back, and not to be biased or anything, but to have him as part of my team, it's fantastic. But yeah, I think a lot of guys are forgetting, this guy's a former series runner-up, so he's got some serious talent, and when he come back at Zandvoort, he dominated. He beat Madison down by I think 10 seconds. He didn't just come out and win. He dominated that race. So he's definitely going to be, I think this season, a genuine threat with all those front guys. And I also expect to see Mitchell McLeod jumping up this season as well. He started to really show some good pace towards the back end of last season, and it looked like he was really starting to enjoy his racing again. So I think he's just another name we can chuck into that potential winners list.
So we're just waiting for this session to finish up. We've got qualifying not too far away. Of course, it's the last chance for that prize pole position. But like we said, Madison Down currently 209.101 with pole position. And no doubt there's a couple of drivers all lined up. There's nothing in the times, but it's that last chance to grab that maiden pole position. So we'll see how we go. You think we're in for any surprises this season, fellas? I mean, we've talked about the strength of field. We've spoken about a lot of up-and-comers. I mean, it's so easy just to say, oh yeah, you know, probably the likes of whether it be Madison Down or Justin Ruggier, just because they were so strong in the previous season. But it's easy to peel off those names to say that they'd be going for another championship this year. But so many names up and down the field where we just don't know who it could go to.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's hard to be 100% positive. We talk about Justin Ruggier and we talk about these other guys. But we look at Justin Ruggier, you know, he kind of come out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, you know, he's there. We're watching, we're like, who's this guy? And then all of a sudden he's winning races. And looking back at that, probably to not 100% positive what other teams are doing, but, you know, I can say being a part of the Sim Gear team is that we've looked at that, and we've looked at drivers in lower divisions that have had massive backgrounds in sim racing that are very, very fast drivers, and we know they just have to get their I rating up, and you know, these guys we believe are going to be contenders, and that was one of the main reasons with teaming up with Infinity as well, was to bring the strength in to get these drivers up there. So, you know, I've got good faith that our new drivers, and it's the reason that they're there, with Matty Hill and Matthew Barron, these guys are going to be contenders. Matty Hill just took out, you know, Division 2. He just won the last race for Division 2 at Road America. So, you know, we've got good faith in these guys, and I'm sure other teams are looking to see who else is coming up in these lower divisions that have come over to iRacing, and who's going to be a contender.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned about these different division champions, something that I'm really keen to take a strong look at, you know, as the weeks go by and as the seasons go by, is people that take part in the Sunday League that probably aren't as familiar as the Category 1 guys on Monday nights. So, and like you said, so much talent coming through the ranks, and you know, before you know it, we may be lucky enough to have ourselves another Madison Down or a Justin Ruggier, you know, right under our nose, and we don't even know about it just yet. So we're taking that qualifying now.
That's exactly.
Sorry, mate.
Yep, you're right.
As I say, we've got Ruggier on screen on an out lap, so their last chance in this last session to get that last shot at pole position before 18 laps around Road America. So early minutes, this is a 20-minute session, sorry. We're 4 minutes into the session already. No one's posted down a time. Like we said, currently it's Madison Down on pole. And these guys, look like we've got a bit of a formation thing going there with Ruggier and Cal May. I mean, we've talked about how the draft can be real effective in these series, and plenty of long straights here where you can really be beneficial to having a draft if you've got a teammate there. So we're on board Justin Ruggier as he starts his lap. And these guys definitely going to have their work cut out for them. 18 laps around here is no mean feat. So, and when we take into consideration these guys have to be careful about fuel usage. I mean, it's so easy just to get caught up in hard racing. We've got some good guys racing around you, and you know you've got to hit a certain fuel number to go the distance, because it's quite punishing, this pit lane. It's such a long pit lane, and if you find yourself that you're the only car that comes to the lane for fuel, it can be quite costly.
Yeah, it's an interesting to look at it. Sorry, Sam, I was having a bit of lag there. Interesting this season. I mean, I did a race here at Road America last season, and I had to pit. I didn't have a choice. So, from memory, they didn't change anything to this car. So I'm not sure all of a sudden what's brought on this this fuel savings. I'm pretty sure everyone did pit at this event last season.
I guess it's 22, isn't it? You know that there's such a huge gain there from making a pit stop, and I guess these guys have probably some punters, and they've decided that they'd rather save fuel than make that pit stop. So interesting to see how it plays out. Like we said, if you're too aggressive on the throttle, it can really turn around and bite you in the backside.
Yeah, that's it. And you're at open throttle for so long around this racetrack. I mean, it's almost a 90-degree corner followed by a big long straight, half this racetrack. So, but yeah, like I said, it's interesting to see that, with the advancements and setups, I guess it also would play a big part. But interesting to see that this has turned a bit of a fuel saver. I know that they've been eliminated some of the races this season with the new schedule, so that's a big bonus for some of the drivers. A lot of people were happy about that.
Now we'll get to see Justin's time as he completes his first hot lap of this session. And he goes down, puts down a 2:09.312. So actually does improve on his overall qualifying time. Not enough to knock off Madison down. So maybe I think there's a little bit more left in the old girl yet.
Yeah, that's a super impressive time. And that's another thing. Again, I can't remember them changing that much on this car, but they've actually found a second within the setup for this season. Because remember last season, I think it was a 10-0 or a 10-3 or something from Madison down to get pole position. So the fact that they found a full second just setup development, that's crazy. These guys have really taken it to the next step.
Well, in saying that, if you're talking about, these guys have found a second, I mean, that's I guess that's where that extra fuel burn is.
Matthew Hill now coming into turn one, starting his hot lap. He's a guy that's at the moment, he just joined our team actually, but he's one of the guys that I think, he's a second split driver, but has the potential to definitely move himself up into the top split. Just with a bit of guidance and a bit of setup advice, and having Renz on our team, I think that's going to be great for Hill. But he's going to be loving it out here at the moment with some of the big boys qualifying. It can be a big confidence booster if you get a good time in against some of these guys. And as you saw with Justin last season, once he got his first win, the confidence was high. He just he got the monkey off his back, and he was just steamrolling through the middle part of that season.
And just have a look to second in the timesheets in this session at the moment. Corey Osborne's put down a 2:10.9. That actually moves him up a little bit because he was sitting in 24th position with a 2:11.1. So a 2:10.9 will sort of put him up 4 or 5 spots. So not a bad little gain there for the moment.
Yeah, he's definitely he's doing a good job. I think actually, sorry, it was his teammate I'm thinking of. They did a fantastic job in the race champions last week. But those cars are us boys are definitely looking to improve from last season. They had some strong runs, especially towards the back end when I jumped back in the commentary box. There's 1 or 2 of them that were definitely doing a fantastic job.
So Matty's going to have bought that lap. There's a lot of guys on slow laps. I think just taking it easy, getting ready for a hot lap. We've spoken about how crucial it is just to look after these tyres on the out lap because they do give up so much on that first lap. As we check out Josh Muggleton. Looks like he's coming around. He's just taking it easy on that slow out lap like we were talking about. He hasn't put much down for the timesheets at the moment in this session, so it'll be good to see what time he actually punches out for this one.
You might be able to give me an answer to this one, Sam. And Madison down, is he racing tonight, or is he just taking qualifying off, or?
I believe he is. He's fingers crossed he's going to join us for a hot lap around Road America. So we haven't heard from him just yet, but fingers crossed he will be taking part. He's currently sitting in pole position at the moment, so you think he'd like to jump on board if he can?
Yeah, definitely, that's it. And another a big smoky out here at the moment too is for those that are new to the broadcast. Renz Brookman and a couple of those other faster international guys are actually in their separate server. So if they go faster, we're not going to know about it. And for another 15-20 minutes when we actually get into the race.
That's one of the great things about our series, isn't it? We've so many, we've got plenty of international drivers that take part on a week-to-week basis, but then you've also got your nationals that really take part week in, week out with our main game series. So it's exactly right. I mean, although we look at qualifying and we say Madison's on pole at the moment, but until those times filter through, minutes after the qualifying, we won't exactly know. But that's actually great for our series that we've got so many international guys, taking a keen interest in our racing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic from when the series first started to gain momentum. We'd have one split of Aussies, and I think now we're out to about 4 or 5 splits, and it's not just, it is mainly Australians. We've also got a lot of international guys from France and Finland and all kinds of places that are jumping into these races weekly now. So
Now, second on the timesheets for this session, so it looks like Muggo's just going to abort this one. Troy Cox has put down a 10.9, a little bit off his fastest time for the week. Troy Cox has already put down a 10.5, which is in 14th place at the moment, so a little bit more time to find for Troy.
look, we don't have Richard Hampstead in this session. Sorry, I'm a little bit thrown off as running, like I said, a little bit late, so just trying to catch up on everything that's going on.
It's all right. Richard's got himself P3 for the moment, 209.440, so not too bad. We've got Ruggier as he comes around halfway through this lap. Looks like he's on a good one so far. Hasn't made any mistakes. Looks nice and clean. Just as I say that, he gets a little bit tail happy on exit.
This is probably one of the only tracks we go to, there's a couple of them that are a bit longer, but this is one of the few that we actually go to where I think improving your qualifying time in the last session is possible. Being, the track's 2 minutes 9 seconds, there's enough space for everyone to just get a little bit of room and try and set a fast lap, whereas we go to somewhere like Mosport and everyone's stacking up on top of each other, so I wouldn't be surprised if someone does, one of these front guys maybe do lower their time a little bit as Ruggy gets very wide. Interesting to see if that's an off track. He's pushing on, so...
Now, Ruggier's fastest time for the session is in this, a 209.312. As he crosses the line, no, maybe you've got an off track there because that didn't count, so bad luck there for Ruggier.
I'd say he would have just pushed on to see what those second times are going to be.
Just having a quick look through the field, looks like a lot of people on their outlap, just getting ready for a hot one. Nearly 14 minutes gone in this session, so approaching 6 minutes to go. So, like you said, Corey, 209 to get round here for the fast guys. You can't afford to take too much time. You're going to waste, nearly 2.5 minutes to make it round here if you're looking after your tyres, and then to put down another lap. These guys probably only looking at maybe another couple of laps, and then that session's over for them.
Josh Muggleton now just coming around, start his lap. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, with the whole the way the tyres are in the current build of iRacing, with actually having to do the slow out lap to keep the tyres cool, some of these guys will probably be doing out laps of up and over 3 minutes. That's a long way to just go out there and do one flying lap that you can easily stuff up at turn 1 or anywhere. So you really don't have much time around here, that's for sure. And I'll go very sideways.
He's having a red hot go off that off turn 1. He's still going on with it though. Hasn't posted a time in this session, but that's not too much for him. No, it's going to abort there, so looks like he may have got an off track or anything like that. But Muggo hasn't got too much to worry about. He's currently sitting in 6th place at the moment, 209.655 on the board, so at least he's towards the pointy end of the field. So we switch to the other Club Simulator Falcon, Troy Cox. He'd be looking for another couple of tenths. Currently finding himself 14th position for the starting grid tonight. The car looked good. It's actually good to flick through some of these drivers and see the different schemes we've got for the new season. We talked about driver movements and different liveries and all the rest of it. It's actually good to try and catch up on everything.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take a few weeks to get our heads around. I think some of these guys with their new teams and new liveries and such. So it always is good. I think it gets everyone excited again to see drivers in the new cars and whatnot. So Oh, it definitely gets me excited when we roll around to week 1 and everyone's uploading their new cars to trading paints and everyone's checking them out and doing their little press releases and all that, those kind of things. It's after a long season, it definitely reinvigorates yourself.
Well, we've just been found out that Sean Kelly's had a huge moment. Try and get a bit of a replay and see what happened there. So Sean Kelly, one of the new V8 Supercar fan group cars, just gone around off the last turn and just backed it ever so lightly into the tyre barrier. So it's a shame. But hats off to the guys. The old V8 Supercar fan group cars look good. And we just found out we've just had a couple of technical issues, so we apologise for that. This is a point now where we're going to find these guys having that last-ditch effort. Under 3 minutes left in this session. Currently fastest in this session, Justin Ruggier, 209.312. Like we said, he did improve on his overall time. Hasn't moved him up in the standings. He's in P2. He's has to find a couple of tenths, which is not a bad margin to have in your pocket for Madison Down. He'd be fairly happy with that.
Yeah, that is a good margin. Although in the draft, it's going to be hard, I think, to pull away. I've been reading on the Iracing forum since the update, and it appears that they've actually changed the aero model and. I'm not sure if it's the entire game or just certain cars, but I know a lot of people were saying that Ruggie runs very wide. A lot of people were saying that the draft has gone from nearly non-existent to being able to be a long way behind someone and then be right on them again at tracks like Mid-Ohio coming out of the keyhole. And that's a fairly short straight compared to some around here like Road America. And I got to say, looking at Justin, I mean, if I had to pick one person for this season's championship, I'd probably have to go with Justin. My money's on Justin because, he had a real purple patch in the middle of the season. And I think if he can keep that confidence and keep that ball rolling at the early part, he's definitely going to be able to take it right to Madison. And, we saw how close it was last season, at the end of last season. So it come down to the final race. But if Justin can get off to a good start, my money's definitely on him, I think, for this season.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's always good to get the monkey off your back and get that, that maiden win. We know what sort of driver he is, very capable, and it's amazing what it does for the confidence once you get a couple of wins under your belt. And I reckon you're not too far off the mark, mate. I reckon Justin he'd be really hungry now that he knows just how close he got to last season taking the title. So I think we're in for big things for Justin.
Michaelson now will start his final lap. There's only a couple of about 40 seconds left of the session, so if you're not already out there, probably come to the last couple of corners, you're not going to get a lap in, but Muggleton's managed to make it. His last chance, so he cannot afford a mistake here if he wants to try and set a faster lap time and have a go at the pole.
It looks like he cut that first turn, just got 2 tyres on the dirt. Doesn't look like he got an off track. He's going on with it, so fingers crossed. Car looks good though.
Yeah, he's looking very planted on the exits of the corners versus the last time we were on board with him, and he was getting all sideways out of 1 and 2. Interesting to see what line they're running down here. I know last season they were running right out there to the right-hand side, but now Muggo stayed well on the left-hand side of that curving, so session now comes to a close, and Muggo again using a lot of the road there, but still very, very straight on the exits of these corners. So this actually might be pretty quick, I think. I just hope he doesn't go and put off the road now on a fast lap.
So you might have picked up Jay's commentator's curse, but so far so good.
It's going to be I know a couple of rounds without having Jay. It's going to be quite different. He needs a bit of a break. He's done such a fantastic job over the last couple of months, quite a few months actually. So I think he's got a well-deserved break. I know he's planning to join us a little bit later throughout the season as Muggleton's still using all the road. It's going to be, as I was saying, he's going to plan to join us later in the season. So hopefully he's out there tuning in, having a watch, or even racing.
Yeah, lucky enough to catch up with him just before the broadcast. He wished us well, and I think he's sitting back with a cold drink and enjoying the show. So fingers crossed. Yeah, like I said, we'll catch up with him throughout the season, and he'll have a well-deserved break, no doubt.
Runnels are now 1 corner to go. He's pushed on with it, so he's got an off track. He will be going for the second times, but about to find out if the lap's going to count. He comes up the hill for the final time and to the line. Going to post a 2:10.1, so not going to be enough to get the pole.
No, and it still stays the same. P6 209.65 for the week. So Muggo second in this session, but 6th overall. So the session comes to a close. We've got Justin Ruggier fastest in this session. Does improve on his overall time, but still holds on to second place, 209.312. Muggleton in second, Troy Cox third. He managed to move up a couple of spots, which is great. Corey Osborne, Samuel Collins, Cal Watmore, Richie Stanaway, Matthew Hill, Wayne Hewitt, Scott Fontaine, Derek Torreen, Ben Rothberg, Nick Rainberg, Marty Atkins. Your 14 cars to take a time in qualifying for the last-ditch effort to take part in 18 laps around Road America. It's round 1 for season 4 for 2012, and I think we're in for a ripper race.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Fuel saving or not, Road America is one of my personal favourite racetracks, so I think it's going to be good. And I'm interested also to see now how this draft is going to, if it has affected the V8 Supercar. That's one big thing I'm really looking forward to finding out.
All right, well, that'll wrap up qualifying. Stick with us here on V8sonline. We will be back in just a few minutes' time. We will take part for round 1, the opening round of the 2012 championship for season 4. We'll be back in a few moments' time.